Are we ready to go or?
I think Brian's just connecting to
Just
Zoom.
connecting. Can you call for this? Yeah, we're live.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the July meeting to order at 9:03 a.m. With that, I'll have roll call.
Councillor Collins,
Present.
Councillor Florent,
Here.
Councillor Kuya,
Here,
Councillor Pigeon,
Here.
Councillor Rodnick,
Here.
Councillor Sidoc,
here,
Mayor LaValle,
Here.
all present.
Okay, thank you. I'll do the land acknowledgement now. We acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded traditional territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people, specifically the Madawaskini people of the Madawaska River. We further acknowledge that the Algonquin people have been stewards of this land since time immemorial, and we strive to treat the land, along with the flora and fauna it supports, the people, their customs and traditions, with honor and respect. Today, this area is home to people of all walks of life, and we acknowledge the shared opportunities and responsibilities to live, work, and survive within this beautiful territory. She miigwech, all my relations. Are there any additions or amendments to the agenda?
Yes, I'd like to add some unfinished business in regards to the task force.
Okay. Adding the task force, Councillor Florent. Okay.
No,
Anyone
that
else?
was Councillor Rodnick.
Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor Rodnick.
Always get that.
Okay, any other amendments to it? Or additions? Okay. Seeing none, I will ask for a mover and a seconder for the adoption of the agenda as circulated.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Who moved it?
Joan,
And
Councillor
Councillor
Kuya.
Collins.
Second by Councillor Collins. Thank you.
Move that council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin adopt the agenda as circulated for the regular council meeting July the 3rd, 2024.
Been duly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Is there anyone that would like to disclose a pecuniary interest or general nature thereof for today's meeting? I'm not seeing anyone. Thank you. There are no presentations today at this meeting. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the public meeting for the zoning bylaw amendment, number ZBA 2024-1, the additional residential unit. I will open this public meeting to see if there's anyone that is registered to do any presentation, or if there's anyone on, is there anyone online, Brian?
No, we've had no delegations or deputizations presentations related to the matter.
Okay, so everyone has in their package the information on the ADUs. Just so you know, we've had, sorry, the ARUs, my apologies. We've had one application from South Algonquin. I have no idea who it is, where it is, or anything like that, but I'm very happy that we have at least received one. I think as word gets out about this, that we may have even more applications. So there's been, I think to date, over 50 applications to DSAP. Okay, so with that, I will I'll ask for the adoption of the minutes of the meeting of June 5th. I have a mover and a seconder.
I'll make the motion.
That Councilor Florent,
Yes.
thank you. Seconder,
I'll second it. Councillor Pigeon.
Councilor Pijot, been duly moved and seconded.
That the council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin adopts the agenda as circulated, that the council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the regular meeting of June 5th, 2024 as circulated.
Okay, it's been duly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? I don't see any. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes of the Economic Development Committee meeting. I have a mover, please.
I'll move that, Councillor Sidon.
Councilor Sidon,
I'll second it. Councillor Rodnick.
Councilor Rodnick,
That council for the town corporation of the township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the Economic Development Committee meeting of June 19th, 2024 as circulated.
it's been duly moved and seconded. Do I have any speakers to this? I'm seeing none. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes of the Asset Management Committee meeting of June 19th. Mover, please.
I'll move that. That's Councillor
Councilor
Collins.
I'll
Councilor
second
Florent.
it. Seconded by Councillor Florent.
Thank you.
That the council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the Asset Management Committee meeting of June 19th, 2024 as circulated.
It's been duly moved and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. We'll move on to committee staff and council reports. I think, Charlene, you're first up.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, I did list quite a bit of information there. I don't know if anyone has any questions or comments about that. The library board has taken a break until September. So our next meeting will be on September 17th. We will be working on governance over the summertime. We have a few programs planned out here as well. Also, I did want to ask if council would be interested in seeing any of my statistics. We do keep a number of statistics daily with monthly summaries, and would council be interested in seeing some of those numbers?
I think that the monthly summaries would be helpful. They could just be put in with your report.
Okay. I will incorporate that. Yeah.
That sounds really good. Thank you. Well, thank you.
You're
Are there
welcome.
any questions for Charlene?
Charlene, when will you know about the interactive presentation?
Oh, sorry. I do have a date for that. That will be on Tuesday, July 30th at 7 p.m.
Okay.
The medicinal walk, I do not have a date for, though.
So Tuesday, July 30th.
Yes.
Meet the turtle and snake day.
Is there a
Yeah.
time of day for that?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? I don't see any. Thank you very much, Charlene. Try to have a nice break.
Thank you. Well, I'll still be working, but thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Stephen?
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Steve.
Is there any preliminary comments or questions regarding the report I put together, or?
Any questions or comments for Stephen?
I did have the one, it was in regards to the painting of the fire hall doors.
Yeah.
And you only got one quote,
Actually, we got, two quotes.
okay,
Yeah,
and is that for all the doors or just
it's
the two?
for, it'll include the three big, shop doors there, as well as the man doors on the fire department. And it's, for the three doors and the two man doors on the, or the fire department there.
Mhm,
It'll be a little bit under what we forecasted for the total
for
budget
the
amount.
total,
Yeah.
right?
And that's forecasted to start on July 22nd, I believe, and it's for, they figure it'd take a couple weeks, time they do their surface prep and all the painting and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Stephen?
I got one question, Steve, about that freezer that was dumped in pond at the Lyle disposal site. Was that in the creek? Like in the
It
same?
was to the left, when you're going in the entrance, there's a small little water, it's, I wouldn't call it a pond, just a small sort of pool of water. And
basement open.
yeah, it was
Okay.
no foundation, and
Okay, yeah.
actually, Councillor Collins was the one that pointed, it was sort of hidden away behind the brush and that. And we pulled that out in the month of June.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any other
No other,
questions? Go ahead.
no other questions, on the report, or?
I have a statement. I think you're very, very busy and thank you for all that you and the team are doing. I think it's commendable.
Okay. I can give you guys a quick overview. So we did do our final round of grading in June, and we got all the calcium placed. Those two sections on Major Lake that we pulverized. We did the pulverizing last Tuesday. We were able to get Ontario Parks to contribute to that as well. So our, they basically covered just under half of what our costs were for that. And then we were able to get it, the calcium put down. It's a lot better than what it was. So we got that done in the month of June. For, the brushing operations, I just mentioned that we did get the brusher motor mount replaced, the Teflon coupler. Everything's up and back together on that. In the landfill operations, we had, pickups, the second annual pickup for scrap steel, tires and electronics. And as of last week, all the grinding operations were done at both landfill sites, which is a little bit, quite a bit earlier than what it was last year. So that's done. Winter sand, I got 90 tons of winter salt coming in today to the sand dome. And RJ Cell will be starting to, they're bringing a stacker in next week and they're going to start installing our winter sand for this season. So that'll be done in July. One thing I put together in my report, I don't know if you guys like, but I have a capital projects update. So every capital project, I put progress on what we're doing throughout the month. So Hay Creek Road, we're going to start very shortly. We're supposed to get all the culverts in this week. And once those are in, we're going to start from McRae's and work our way out to the fire hall that way with all the ditching and the culverts. We'll get that in this season, and I did get preliminary pricing for the asphalt off of a couple subcontractors to give us an idea when we put a tender out what that's going to cost us. They have 2 lists of asphalt in there. So that's the biggest capital project on the go. We did put down some gravel in the month of June, so we re-gravelled Erie Road as well as Hilltop Road. So we put down roughly 1,000 ton, 70 tandem loads, which helped those 2 roads out a lot. Those were 2 that I seen in the spring that didn't hold up well at all. You could grade them 1 week and there just wasn't any material or drainage on them. So that should help us out next year. And then, like I say, this fall, we're going to try to use the rest of our budget for gravel, more in at Mackenzie Lake, once we do a section of ditching in there. Outside of that, we did have tandem number 7 in for safety in June, its annual safety. It did need a turbo actuator put in the truck. So we were having issues all last winter where truck would stop, you'd have to shut the truck off and then it kept getting worse. That would prompt the truck to shut off all the time. So that's what was the issue with the truck, so that was replaced. As well as when they did the safety, the truck needed rear brakes. So the annual cost for that annual safety was higher than what average is. The cost for that was pretty high. The other one that was safetied in the month of June was the garbage truck, and that one there, we needed new brakes, but the cost for that was a little bit less than what it was last year. So between the two trucks, I would say average for those two annual safeties. And that's pretty well it. The other one I'd note out for the safety portion of the report was Kevin Kennedy, who had, or sorry, the public works employee that had the hand injury. So he returned back to modified work duties on yesterday. So we got him back and he's working. We're going to try to keep him busy, especially when we're doing flagging for road operations and stuff. We need flaggers, so we're going to utilize him for that. He doesn't have to use his hand or anything for it anyways. So that's pretty well all I had for my report.
Is he back at the landfill?
Yeah, so he's going to be covering back at the landfill going to Madawaska. Yeah.
And he's been broached and informed that he's got to ask for those cards, yes?
Yes.
It's been it's been re-mentioned to him.
Yeah, so I brought that up as soon as you brought it up in our last meeting.
Thank you.
No other questions?
One other, the only ongoing job that we have for the summer is the roadside mowing. Any idea when that's gonna start?
Yeah, so I booked them in a month ago and it's going to start mid-July. So I'm hoping, hopefully next week or the week after it's going to start. And like I say, it's at least 2 to 3 weeks earlier than what I had booked it last season. Because I know that, you guys were wanting it done a bit sooner.
Yeah,
I
like
booked it
2 weeks ago would have been good.
Yeah, like you say, for next year, we can start it sooner, but you run into that you might have to cut it twice. And we only have it budgeted enough to give it one go through the summer. So it's up to you guys' preference, really. I booked it, like you say, probably 3 weeks earlier than I did last year, so.
Okay.
I'll keep you updated, but it's supposed to start mid-July.
Any word on the speed signs?
The speed signs, they're still in refabrication, so I should have those anytime. I'll follow up with Beacon Light. Yeah. And I have a couple of summer students on board now, so that's one of the jobs I was planning for them to do. Yeah. And that's everybody good?
Stephen, I have one I guess we have one truck coming to come into Peterborough, go to Peterborough.
Sorry,
Sure.
Ethel, could you repeat yourself?
Oh, Stephen, I understand one of our vehicles is broken down.
Yeah, so one of the tandem trucks broke, number 7, the one yellow tandem. We were doing some work up at the landfill in Whitney yesterday. And on his back, he had the loader and the float on, it broke down on us. So I had to arrange a tow truck this morning. It's taken back down to Winslow's. So it got off the road. So we just barreled it off last night. And it was loaded on the tow truck at 6:45 this morning. So I'll keep you guys updated on what's the issue with that, as soon as I find out from Winslow's.
Stephen, I took some pictures of the parking lot at Chair Booth Park on Monday. I'm gonna share them with you so that you can use them in your argument with the engineers when they think that there's gonna be room to use our parking lot for staging area. It was overflowing there. The people were double parked and there was still parked out on the highway.
Yeah,
So there's absolutely no room to spare in that parking lot at all.
I tried to push it, Brian and myself, for them to stage on the south
Yeah.
side where that big staging area is at Riverland.
Yeah.
And I also give the consultants, the owner of Riverland's contact information.
Okay.
So it wasn't set in stone yet, and we haven't had another meeting invite from them. They were still looking at different options.
Mhm.
So hopefully they do, because I know from myself, from staging areas, time you get site trailers in, portable washrooms, all your equipment, materials, there's not nearly enough room there
No.
for them to do anything.
No, we're all
Is that construction set to begin?
think it's gonna be, I think their design is going to be going throughout this winter and then it'll go out to tender next year. So once it's tendered, it'll be a few months down the road from that before, so it wouldn't be till summer of next year. Yeah.
There's no room for them to use the yard, our yard in Madawaska?
I would say it's,
Too
yeah,
far
it's
away.
too far for staging sort of thing. I would say their best option is Riverland if they can get that figured out for them. Mhm.
Okay, any other questions or comments for Stephen? Seeing none, have a great day, Stephen.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later. Yeah.
Yes.
Next up is Earl, our fire chief.
Good morning.
Earl,
Good morning, Earl.
Any questions of me?
well, welcome, first of all.
Oh, thank you.
Are there any questions on the report from Earl?
It's been a busy.
Yeah. Last week's been busy. It's not even on the report, but
Anything we need to be aware of from last week?
from that call we had, or,
No, from anything from last week.
no, it's just like we had 3 calls, 2 yesterday within 7 minutes. One in Madawaska, one in Whitney. They were both EMS assists, so. Just, that doesn't happen too often.
No, I saw the air ambulance coming in yesterday. so-
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That was from the Whitney call, wasn't there? So,
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
thought it was from the Madawaska one.
no, it was the Whitney one.
So I see there was a complaint about air leak at the JM hydrant.
Yeah, they have a hard time drawing water with the fire truck. But 99% of the time, it's going to be the tanker and there's no issues with that, so, because it's a vacuum system, so. But Jason's been trying to look at it and patch it up there. If not, we might have to replace the top end of it, the elbow and that, but
They're fairly expensive though, too, aren't they?
yes, they are, yeah. So we're trying to fix it.
Mm-hmm,
They say most times it'll be the tanker using it, so it's not an issue, but
right.
When do you have your next first aid CPR?
usually January, February.
January?
I brought that up at recreation. Just a lot of our volunteers probably should have
Yeah.
at least CPR, if not the full first aid. So I think there'd be several of us that would
Yeah.
like to join,
Yeah.
but if you feel that's too much, maybe we could do something else.
So just taking an extra evening, like that, they'll have to come up with. But working with the public, they should,
Yes,
especially community
absolutely.
events, if
Yeah.
someone just falls and cuts himself, well,
That's one thing. I mean, most of
Yeah.
us would be able to manage
Yeah,
that.
but
It would be
just-
the CPR.
yeah.
Congratulations on the quick response to the lightning strike in Madawaska. It's a running joke that fire departments are good at saving basements.
Yeah.
This time you guys saved the house.
Yeah. Like I say, Councillor Pijal said there's really no damage inside, it was just,
No, it's astonishing.
yeah, we did break the window on you, but we were just making sure. Yeah.
No, that is fun.
Other than that, it worked out well, and I had Whitney come down with a tanker and water and a couple of people just in case we needed them, and we just turned them around, we didn't need them, so it worked out well.
Well, it looked a lot worse than what it actually ended up being.
Yeah.
Just,
So,
just going back to the first aid CPR, if you could shoot me the fellow's name and email, that would be great.
Yeah,
And
he's,
then maybe I can reach out to him and just say, hey,
he's a paramedic out of Pembroke, but
Is he?
yeah, so he kind of does that, and yeah, you could probably get it done anytime if you.
Yeah, I
if you
just
just went for the rec committees or something.
didn't know whether or not, how many he could manage, I guess.
I think
So,
it's under 20, I believe, a
yeah,
class.
So if the numbers were such between fire and us and putting us over, maybe we would just.
Yeah, see, Steven usually gets to works with us, and
Sure.
so it usually puts our numbers up, so
Yeah.
it's.
Okay,
It was only 2 or 3, it probably wouldn't be a big issue. but
Sure.
Yeah,
there might be more than that. of
Yeah.
course.
yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
Anything else for Earl? Yeah.
too much information in it or not enough?
Just right, just right.
That's right.
Wasn't
Thank
sure.
you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day around.
He's gonna take care.
Okay. Madawaska, Parks and Rec, Joe?
I see there's two sets of minutes here. There's both the June minutes and the May minutes, I think. I don't have anything to add, except that Canada Day was very successful. The barbecue, we run out of burgers and buns. In fact, the last few chicken burgers we gave away on hot dog buns. There was more people in attendance, I think, than we've ever had before. So there was more stuff consumed.
Could this
I
be part of
noticed that it was very busy. You couldn't get anywhere near the buying of the burgers and you cooking. So yes, it looked very busy. That's great.
Yeah, I think it was very successful.
Could it be because Bancroft suspended their fireworks again?
Well, there was more people there for the fireworks as well, but there's like a 4-hour gap in between
Mhm.
the barbecue and that and the fireworks. They were both well attended. Like the parking lot, as I said to Steve, was absolutely jammed. People were parked on the highways.
Sure. That's good. It's successful.
Any questions for Councillor Florence? Okay. Thank you.
Oh, one other thing, that beach toy lending station that's in the minutes of the April. No, I guess it's the May minutes. That's installed in place and I got rid of all my Tonka trucks and everything that I have and they were being used a lot. It remains to be seen whether they can be responsible enough to put them back, because that's my concern, that the works department will end up picking them up when they have to cut the grass, and that's gonna be a no-no.
Good. I'm glad they're being used. Okay, moving on to the Whitney Recreation, Councillor Kuya.
Yeah, the minutes are there. Baseball was a huge success and they're hoping that that will continue. The day was busy with cornhole and we have booked it for next year as well, just no date yet. Really no issues other than the rain. We did do some a little bit of discussion as to what to do with the Raise the Roof funds. And I think the consensus was that we will have a more in-depth discussion in September. The other was the beach toy thing as well. I think they're interested in doing something similar to what Madawaska has done, so I'm sure that will be there. And I don't think there was anything else.
Any questions or comments for Councillor Kuya? I don't see any. Yeah. I just wanted to say you and Lloyd, that was great work. I watched a lot of the cornhole. It was a bit long, but interesting.
Yeah, it's better if you're participating, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Next year.
I'd just like to comment that there was a lot of help, there was a lot of volunteers that made things happen for that day. It's nice to see people getting together to help out.
Yeah,
And thank you.
absolutely.
That was great.
Well,
Yeah,
hopefully now that both committees can take a bit of a breather.
Yeah, let's hope.
Mhm.
I think they were talking a little bit about doing something for summer end before the kids go back. We'll see what happens. Everybody's not tired, but everybody's busy. Let's put it that way.
Just one clarification, Councillor Kuyak and Councillor Sidoff. There's been a posting that said that all the flowers had been put into the water again. I don't know that that was necessarily all of them, but has some of the flowers been picked out of the boxes and put into the water?
I was there yesterday and some definitely are missing. There's some holes in a few baskets. I don't know where they've went, but definitely happened again.
Yeah.
Well, there was a posting that said that the flowers were there on the Saturday, like maybe 5 or 6 o'clock, but on the Sunday morning that some of them were, I guess, missing and put over the bridge. That's really sad.
It is.
It is. It's definitely happens Saturday nights.
Yeah, so, people get, they're a little tired of that type of thing happening. And I don't know that it's necessarily our people, you don't know who's doing these things, but I think it's a very, very lack of respect for the work that's gone into it and the great work that's been done. So hopefully the OPP is keeping an eye. I mean, we can't ask them to look after the flowers, but I think that maybe they should be keeping an eye on those areas.
I can mention that.
Good, thanks, Lori. I thought you might. Okay, so those are all the committee staff reports. I can move on to see if there's any councillor reports. Not, am I seeing any hands? I'm not seeing any hands. Hi. Okay. Business arising from the last minutes. Is there any business that anyone wants to talk about from the last minutes? Okay. Okay, so sorry, go ahead.
I have a quick question. Do we have an update yet on the electronic charging areas that were mentioned? I think we were, all the information went to the company. Have they got back to us as to whether or not that's been accepted?
Yes, they advised that we won't hear any further until the fall.
It was the fall, was it? All right.
Will they find out whether they got the grant or not?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the next item is unfinished business. I know it's on the bike trail from Algonquin Park into Whitney. Just a quick update. It says that work began this spring, however, at the park and at the park end of the trail. The line has seen new gravel and a new bridge is to be installed this summer at Rock Lake. And it says, this is from the Park Superintendent, John Swick, that as time and funds permit, they will continue brushing and graveling towards Whitney. But on a bigger note, I get the location just inside the park line from the trestle bridge. He says that over the years, the rail line has sunk, causing water to lay in the area and has created this. A major bypass of this area will need to be investigated. So I guess that's the update. Someone had requested information on this. And so this is what Tracy was able to find out and share. So are there any other questions or comments on that?
It was me who requested a follow-up on this. It was a couple of years ago that we broached the park, and more people are cycling and using electronic bikes, and we thought it was a good economic development issue to try and bring those people renting bicycles and cycling into the town of Whitney. Even if it's for groceries or just a coffee or lunch and turn them around and they go back again. But it appears that this is not going to happen in the near future because of this bypass having to be put forward. I'm just wondering who would be applying for any grants out there for that to be put in place? Would it be the park asking for money to help? Or should we, through economic development, be asking to try and have that bypass put in around that wet fen area that has subsided? Our Trestle Bridge, we paid to have that all redone and retopped, and people walk out to see the trestle, and the trestle is well used. It's a shame that we can't encourage people from the park where the bicycles are rented and there are cycle trails in the park to come out to Whitney. It seems like a bit of a lost cause if they can't come beyond where this wet area is. I'm wondering what we can do about it.
Not sure, because we're not the landowners. It would be more the park that would have to go through from grant proposal. I do know, having traveled up there 2 or 3 times, they may get down to Gallery, but between Gallery and Whitney, at the top end of the lake down, they're gonna have considerable amount of overall work. Maybe not just brushing, but I know that one culvert is completely gone up in near the dam. And that wetland that you're talking about, he spoke about that last year when I questioned him about doing the expansion of the Rock Lake Bike Trail. And he just basically said it was going to have can't remember, not a biologist, but somebody that would come in there and do studies to see what we could do, or if we had to bypass the whole thing. And what else do I know about that? It's actually volunteers that are clearing from Rock Lake down towards us. It's not the park, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, thank you. It's a nice opportunity.
Yeah,
It's there.
I think there would be enough people to volunteer, once we hit sort of Gallery Lake at the top end, that it wouldn't take long, I'm sure, for men, women, et cetera, to go up and clean that trail. 'Cause
Or
there's-
start from here and
Yes.
meet them
Yeah,
somewhere.
it would be fairly easy, I think. Again, just knowing the wooded areas would probably require a little bit more, but there's a lot of beach, sandy, where the old tracks were.
Okay, thank you. As I say, I think it's a valid economic development for the township,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
mean, I know, and again, this was before my time, but I know that they did have a meeting with Holly and a few other people to talk about that area, but even Friends of Algonquin that should be sitting at the table, they could probably be maybe get the grant a little easier than the Ministry of Natural Resources. So.
That would be nice to see. All right, thank you. Thank you.
I think we could follow up from the office here on it. I think this is probably, and maybe, Brian, did you want to add anything?
No,
No, I think that we can just continue to see what we can do. My guess is, the ministry, I don't have a crystal ball, would have to put this into, the parks, capital assets, capital projects, and I don't know where they're at in terms of budget or anything like that. I think, I think as a township, we will continue to monitor it and continue to ask them what they might want to do. But I think at the end of the day, this goes back a long, long time when, when they wanted to, there was a proposal, suggestion that we try to do a skidoo trail into the park, which was a complete no-no. So this has been talked about for a long time, and so I think all we can do is further investigate and get information and get back to council.
I only have one other thing to add, is that I believe they have started to rent out the warming huts along the Leaf Lake ski system. There's Dee's Cabin, there's another one, I can't remember what they refer that to. And yes, you can access it at Leaf Lake parking lot and go through that, but you can also access it through the old railway bed. You don't have to go too far up past the trestle before you go up into it, but that was their hope, was that they could extend that whole bike trail and have another route to get to those cabins.
And rent it all year.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to correspondence, the action items.
And your part, sorry.
There was some more business under unfinished business, Councillor
Oh.
Rodnick.
Okay, sorry, Councillor Rodnick. Thank you, Councillor Rodnick, my apologies.
Councillor, what's your name?
You just like
I'm part of the furniture.
blend right in.
Jeez. Anyways, I just thought I gotta touch base with people. Unfortunately, I've been a little tied up these last couple of months with some personal issues. Basically, I wanna find out, in order to get this task force going, sort of what the mandate is and expectation from council is. Because, you know, a task force is basically, it's an ad hoc committee. It's established to work on a defined task or activity with usually a stated term of about 12 months with possible extensions. So what is it that we're expecting from the waste committee task force as far as your overall expectations?
I think the reason for creating it was to cut the cost of the operation down, but somehow that's got lost.
Mm-hmm.
And now, what I'm hearing on the street and from people that are on the task force, wondering about when it's gonna start, they wanna get into this recycling and composting and all stuff that wasn't even on the table. So I don't know how you're gonna keep it, you know,
That's what I said, like,
defined to finding efficiencies is what it was set up for, but
I believed it was finding efficiencies and therefore cutting the overall cost in some way, shape or form.
not making it more onerous.
Mm.
But I think that would be part of it, right? Looking at our recycling.
That's not what it was set up for. I'm not saying that looking at recycling is a bad thing, but I don't think it's what the task force was set up for.
I think the initial was the budget line, right?
Yeah.
Was what sort of prompted that. But I think cost efficiencies, the whole, you know, from start to finish, would be of benefit. And that might include recycling, that might include a brief discussion on composting, I would think. I mean, if anybody's looking at how to reduce costs, that would be
And I think
included.
a big part of it too is to extend the landfill life, right? Because the way we're going right now is, it's not good. Like we see it now, it's something that should have been done long time ago, of how we deal with our waste. But yes, more cost effective, more efficient, and less going into our landfill. And there's a lot of stuff that I see, and I'm sure everybody around this table sees as well too, that is going to our landfill, that should be going to our shred pile, but it's being buried, right?
so what's our overall goal here? Like,
Like the discussion started because people were, businesses were concerned about being charged a fee to dump their bins.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've said it before, there's no sense repeating.
If I may, is there anyone else wants to speak?
It appears that some
I'm sorry,
businesses,
Councillor Collins, go ahead.
it appears that some businesses are not using the bins for garbage per se, and they're putting stuff in there that should be in recycling.
Mhm.
Therefore, we've got a double whammy, if you like. The bins are being collected, and that material in there is going in the wrong places. So to try to make them a little bit more responsible for their bins, we thought a costing for collection would be the way forward, hence the task force, because some of the businesses came out in arms about this and thought it was unrealistic for us to do that. I don't think it's all the businesses, but some most definitely need to put locks on their big bins because they're being used incorrectly. That's as I see the situation. We could go to clear bags to make sure that recyclables are not being put in general garbage. Some townships do that, and if the people collecting those bags see the stuff that's clearly recyclable, then a note is put on it and the bag is not collected. But these are the sorts of things that were supposed to be brought up with a task force, with a remit out to make sure that only garbage, for garbage sake, is going and collecting and the rest is being recycled. That was my understanding. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so at the time, I'm agreeing with Councillor Floyd on this. The intention when I suggested a task force was to have a task force look, because of the concern from the businesses about the fee, was to look at the fees and how, whether or not we should be having a lesser fee, whether we should have no fee, and whether or not people's personal garbage should also be looked at. That was what was in my mind when I suggested this task force. It wasn't at the time to look at the recycling. Maybe we want to expand it. That's up to council. But that was the intent, because there was some unrest in our community about the businesses having to pay the fees. So I think as a council, we will make the final decision about how waste management is going to be taken care of in this township. So that's was my intention when I suggested the waste management committee. So I think we have to, as a council, give Council Rodnick and our staff some maybe clear guidance as to what we want this waste management committee to do for this task force. Otherwise, this task force, in my view, could get very, very big and unwieldy if we throw everything at them about our waste management. I agree that we should be looking at, and it's a good point by Councillor Pijaw of how do we extend the life of our waste management site. But at the time, that was not even part of my thinking. I must apologize, but it wasn't.
So it breaks it down, so it's cost and efficiencies, I think is your remit for the task force. We, per head in this township, our cost for waste management is more than double other smaller or like townships. And I know you kind folks that went up to were told that small townships are not doing any garbage pickup or anything. So we don't want to mimic them necessarily, but our costings are just out of the roof for waste management. And we used to be able to afford it in the past. We no longer can offer that gold standard. So it's what can we do to bring those costings down? If it increases efficiencies as well, all well and good. But I think our number one goal is to bring those costs down for the task force.
At least start with that.
I think our number per household was, I think it was $265 per household.
No, it was nearer 400.
Yeah.
Was it?
390 something, nearer 400.
I don't believe that figure.
I have a hard time with that too.
Yeah, I don't believe it at all.
Where can we find that number? Again, because I knew it was part of our budget, I believe. But to find that number again, to see what it's costing per household. And then have a comparison to other comparable townships.
Steve did it.
Yes, he did.
He broke out some things and I think I'll have to dig that up, but
The fact is that we got a small population based over a huge area, so our cost is going to be more than somebody else that's picking up on, like, just say the community of Whitney. You can't compare them at all. You're just spinning your wheels, wasting your time to try to compare the dollar amounts. Unless the decision is to not pick up the garbage. That's the only way you can cut the cost down.
Well, I don't think I'd want to go there, Councillor Floyd.
No, me either.
But anyways, does that help, Councillor Rodnick?
I'll give it a whirl and come back with it and get something going with the people that wanna do something and see how the first committee meeting goes.
Okay, thank you.
I think we're tied up pretty much this month, though, are we not? Do we not have 2 or 3 other meetings this month?
Been canceled?
All?
No, the
No,
17th, you have the 10th, I believe.
Okay.
we have a public meeting next week and that's the last meeting
Oh.
of the month.
Personally, in regards to waste management, and when we were doing our strategic plan, it was definitely noted that we were providing a very gold standard for garbage pickup compared to the other townships we were compared to. And I as well think that, and it was turned down when I suggested an operational review, and that would have covered waste management, or at least I would have hoped it would have covered waste management. So in my mind, the task force was set up not only to look at the cost efficiencies that could be found or operational efficiencies, but from the minute that it's picked up at someone's driveway, whether it's residential or commercial, to the fact of being disposed and how we deal with it. That, in my mind, is what the task force should be looking at. And to see, and they're not gonna make the decisions, I totally agree, but it would give us a better idea of the process and where you could find the efficiencies. And just a prime example, we've said it here before, the garbage or the commercial bins are being picked up maybe twice a week during the peak seasons. One day it's picked up, like say on a Monday, and then they're back on a Thursday to pick up again.
And then again on Sunday.
And then again on Sunday. So, I mean, right there, you can say, there's inefficiencies, and how can we determine what would be a better fit for everyone without having to charge? And at the end of the day, maybe yes, every township around us does have a tag system or a bag system that people have to pay for. But again, then from a recycling, you pick up some at a commercial bin and it's full of recycling. So why are we picking that up when it should be going to the landfill site on the businesses? And I know Sean and I had a discussion the other day about me personally. I should be doing a shredded bin at my house, so that not everything that can be recycled has to go into the regular garbage and be buried. It could be shredded, you know, some of the plastic bags, blah, blah, blah. So there is also education and that could be done throughout this whole thing from a recycling standpoint. But that's, you know, my personal view on the whole thing.
Thank you, Councillor Kuyak. Okay, any other discussion on this?
Yeah, a little bit more. We're gonna take this a little further. I was absolutely shocked that, the commercial bins were free. I didn't realize that until we got into this. This is all part of the efficiency part of it now is I can't fathom and I can't believe that garbage truck rolls past my house on Mackenzie Lake Road in the wintertime to pick up 5 garbage bags. It just, I can't comprehend that. It doesn't make sense to me. So that is something that we have to find a solution for as a committee.
Thanks. Thank you very, very much, Councillor Pijot. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. I'm moving on then to correspondence action items. Those action items are part of your package, but they'll be dealt with under notices of motion of council. Okay. And moving then on to, you have the information items in your package. Is there any questions or comments or anyone would like to make any comments on them? Okay, then I'm going to move on to new business. So under our new business, under notices of motion, there'll be a, I'm sorry?
Yeah, so Councillor Florent has requested that we bring forward formal notice of motion to our September council meeting. And the purpose of that would bring forward a motion for reconsideration of the resolution dated the 5th of July, 2023, respecting live streaming of meetings. That meeting, that motion in its entirety is presented below as well.
Okay, so it's been, the motion is there just to let you know that that's going to come to our September meeting. Okay, so that's just information, new business for you. It should be an interesting September meeting. Moving on to motions of council. Okay, does anybody want a wellness break, or do you want to move on?
I'm happy to move on.
Okay, so I need a mover and a seconder for the resolution to support resolution from the municipality of West Nipissing. Is there any mover and seconder? If there's no mover and seconder, then the motion is
I'll move the motion.
moved by Councillor Florent,
I'll second.
Councillor Kuyak.
That the council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin support the resolution from the municipality of West Nipissing regarding the Champlain Bridge replacement.
Been duly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
A little bit of background, this bridges are huge capital expense for all of us smaller townships. And there is no way that we can afford to build a bridge using taxpayer dollars. So this motion is asking the province to kick in some money, and they're asking for support from other townships, which I think we should give, because someday we're going to be in the same boat.
I totally agree.
Go ahead.
No, I was just totally agreeing with councillor Florent there.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, see none of what call the question, all in favor?
Moving away.
Yeah.
Just turn your head with.
Mhm.
She's asking for. It's
Oh,
Oh, all in favor?
There we go.
Opposed? It's carried. My apologies, I'm looking at the big screen here, that's why I'm having I'll move closer to my computer. Okay, this next motion is, I need a mover and a seconder to support the resolution for the municipality of Tweed, for sustainable funding for small rural municipalities for the cost of the OPP. Okay, I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move that side up. Sign up.
And I'll second it, councillor Collins.
Second by Councillor Collins.
The council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin support the resolution from the municipality of Tweed regarding the call for the Ontario government to immediately implement sustainable funding for small rural municipalities by reabsorbing the cost of the Ontario Provincial Police Force back into the provincial budget with no cost recovery to municipalities.
It's been duly moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion?
Well, I think this is,
Oh,
I
go
think
ahead,
this
Councillor.
is quite important because I have heard that Killaloe has been absorbed into parts of another police district. And so out here in Whitney and South Algonquin, it's going to be even further for the OPP to travel. And I think it's quite concerning actually that we will have even less police coverage as Killaloe becomes a satellite station. And I think this is something very important.
Thank you, Councillor Collins. See anyone
I
else?
support it, but for a different reason. A number of years ago, policing costs were downloaded to the municipality and deemed to be a local matter and a local expense. I don't agree with that at all. I think some small townships may be billed unfairly for expenses that are totally provincial expense. Like, it's a strange setup where the province is responsible for policing on the provincial highway and the municipality is responsible for municipal roads. In our case, because we're so small, that the cost can be exorbitant, especially if the police are responding to calls that typically would be handled by EMS, like I'm thinking of drug overdoses and drug enforcement and that type, which is, it's a local problem, but it's a provincial problem mainly, I think, and it should be a provincial expense. I would be happy to pay an extra $5 a year to the province in taxes and it'd be out of the municipal hands altogether, the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Before, when it was entirely paid by the province, I used to regularly see OPP patrol past my house. I live on a municipal road. I haven't seen an OPP cruiser go by my house in 2 or 3 years. So they don't do the patrols that they used to do at all, not even close.
Okay. Any other comments? See none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you very, very much. The next resolution is to approve the terms of reference for the Economic Development Committee. Have a mover and a seconder, please.
I'll make that motion.
Councillor Florent,
I'll second it. Councillor Pigeon.
Councillor Pigeon, been duly moved and seconded. Brian,
That the council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin approves the terms of reference for the Economic Development Committee.
It's been duly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, the
I do
next,
have, I'm
oh, I'm
sorry,
sorry.
I do have one statement though to make. Just in the future, maybe the changes could be done in red so we can see where and what has been changed. I had to refer back to our notes from the economic development to see if everything was indeed put into the new terms of reference. So just in future, if we're doing things like that, to have those done, either strike out new things put in or done in red.
Thank you, Councillor Queer. Okay, the next motion is to accept the, as members of the Whitney Recreation Committee, to accept Adam Holmberg and Kimberly Gorman. Do I have a mover and a seconder, please?
I can move that side off.
Councillor Sidoff? Need a seconder?
I'll second.
Councillor Kuyak? Brian?
That the council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin accepts Adam Holmberg and Kimberly Gorman as members of the Whitney Recreation Committee pending favorable OPP checks.
It's been duly moved and second. Is there any discussion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. The next motion, I need a mover and a seconder to approve the request from the CRC to use the Lester Smith building for computer training classes for seniors. Do I have a mover and a seconder?
I'll move.
Councillor Kuyak,
I'll second it, Councillor Pizarro.
Councillor Pishon, thank you.
That council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin approves the request from CRC to use the Lester Smith Community Center free of charge for the purposes of computer training classes for seniors.
Been duly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion by? See, I don't see any. I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you very, very much. That concludes the motions. We're going to move now into our bylaws, which you have in your package. I need a mover and a seconder for zoning bylaw to allow additional residential units for the signing of the agreement between the township and His Majesty the King. Bylaw 803, signing of agreement between AMO and the township for the Canadian Community Building Fund. And bylaw 804 to confirm the proceedings of council. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please?
Go ahead.
I'm prepared to move that, councillor Collins.
Councillor Collins,
I'll second it, Councillor Florent.
Councillor Florent,
That bylaw 2024-801, zoning bylaw amendment to allow additional residential units. Bylaw 2024-802, signing of agreements between the township and His Majesty the King, represented by Fisheries and Oceans Canada, for the use of a parcel land at Gale Erie Lake Boat Launch. Bylaw 2024-803, signing of an agreement between the Association of Municipal of Ontario and the Ontario Town for the Canada Community Building Fund, and bylaw 2024-804 to confirm the proceedings of council. Be read a first time and deem read a second time.
thank you. It's been duly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this? Sandy, I'm going to call the question. All in favor? Thank you, everyone. It's opposed. Any opposed? It's carried. I need a mover and a seconder to have this bylaw read a third time and passed. Bylaw 801, bylaw 802, bylaw 803, and bylaw 804. You'll have a moment, please.
I'll move.
Counselor Creon,
I'll second it, Councillor Pujol.
Counselor Pigeon,
That bylaw 2024-801 zoning bylaw agreement to allow additional residential units. Bylaw 2024-802 signing of agreement between the township and His Majesty the King, represented by Fisheries and Oceans Canada, for the use of a parcel of land at Gaillard Lake Boat Launch. Bylaw 2024-803 signing of agreement between the Association of Municipalities of Ontario and the Township for the Canada Community Building Fund. Bylaw 2024-804 to confirm the proceedings of council be read a third time and passed.
it's been duly moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion? I see none. I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. The next item is to move into closed session. We don't have any items for a closed session today. The next item is the main one, I guess. Call for a motion to adjourn the regular council meeting of July 24th at 10:13.
I'll make that
Have a
motion.
mover. Is that Counselor Florence? Did you move that?
Yes, Councillor Florent.
Okay, thank you. Count second.
I'll second it, Councillor Pujol.
Pigeon, thank you.
That council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin adjourns the regular council meeting of July 3rd, 2024 at 10:14 a.m.
It's been duly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you very, very much, everyone. Have a